Thanks for tuning into this video. We're actually having a little bit of a conversation following the MRI Ascend Anywhere event. Much different than what we've experienced in the past. This was our third year participating in the event, but obviously first time with it being a virtual event. So much different than any of us had expected going into the start of the year, but definitely something that we've learned a lot and had some pretty good connections. So, Cary, maybe talk a little bit about just what was the experience from from a virtual event standpoint itself. Obviously different, but still some benefits that we saw, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, being our first virtual trade show event too, we went in with what we think were realistic expectations, not knowing who would show up or what would happen. And what we found out was there was good participation. I think from the end users' experience too, it was unknown to them. And so what we saw was the ability, the way the platform was set up to recognize when people showed up, came to talk to us specifically, came to our chat room and logged in, and the ability for us to have interaction with them, answer their questions. Of course, that came on the tail end of the introduction speech by the president of MRI, and then our webcast. Was it called webcast, I guess, or when we say,
Yeah, our virtual, basically a breakout session in more of a video format than a on-stage presentation.
Right, where we talked about the 8 steps with myself and Todd. So I think that was a good springboard for people to reach out to us and learn a little bit more about Conservice and the MRI partnership.
Yeah, and a big shout out to MRI, the platform. This was our first time in this month of October really doing a virtual event, and we actually had multiple, but the MRI platform that was used for this was the best one that we've experienced. I believe it's going to be up through the end of the year, so there's brochures, we've got videos, and some different things that you can still access there. Obviously, we'll have some of that collateral available on our site as well. So let's talk just a little bit about MRI plus Conservice, right? This is the third time participating at this event, but we've really expanded our relationship with MRI. We talk about this enhanced integration. What does that mean, right? What's the difference between maybe where we were a few years ago versus where we are now with MRI and Conservice?
Yeah. So great question. So from our side, is the enhanced integration is something we worked on. Being our third year, having great participation. This last year was enhanced integration meant single sign-on. So when you're in the MRI platform, you have access to Conservice data at the same time. The feedback on that from mutual clients was that was a huge time saver for them. And one of the other benefits for them was to be able to go to one place, be able to capture all their data, and the feedback again was best of breed. Best software in the commercial retail space, and then the best utility billing provider as well too. So enhanced integration is something we worked really closely with MRI on and their development IT team, and it's turned out to be a big win for us.
So, obviously they've built out a really nice ecosystem, and it's more than just our participating or being a part of that ecosystem, but it's really about a complete customer experience. Once a customer gets into the MRI system, then they're directly connected into the Conservice system as well, right?
Correct. Yeah, and so the benefit there again is people are looking for opportunity to save time as well. So having Conservice, as we talked about, which were the 8 steps from the Conservice side, and Todd talked about those, and being able to save time, that's our side of the equation. MRI, our side of that, is having an ecosystem and bringing us in as a preferred partner. And what that preferred partnership does is we were very consistent with our message and what we wanted, and we wanted the end user to have the experience. And that was all the things that we had talked about when we looked at that. Why would we go through the effort and the time and doing an enhanced integration? And it was with the end user in mind, that they would reap the benefits of having MRI as their software platform and Conservice as their utility experts.
So Conservice this year celebrated our 20-year anniversary. A lot of industry experience in some different industries and some different verticals. Maybe in the commercial side of things, not as well known quite yet. So maybe talk a little bit about what exactly it is that Conservice does. We talked about these 8 steps for helping commercial properties to lower their utility expenses. That's really kind of sharing some of our industry experience to help people that are still looking to do it themselves. But for somebody that's saying, look, I need a complete solution, what exactly is it that Conservice does?
Yeah. Great question. So it's our 2 core competencies, which are tenant billing, being able to bill back tenants, reading sub-meters, doing a CUA methodology, which we've talked about, comparable unit average. I won't get too much into the details. And then bill payment processing, which we call synergy. And the ability for our team to receive, retrieve, audit all the utility invoices, every single utility, every single month for billing errors and rates and adjustments, and then having the integration piece. And there's where the end user has the benefit of the time. There's no more manual entry. One of the things that we have seen on this side, our commercial retail component, is there's still a lot of Excel spreadsheets and manual processing, and the ability for us, and that's really the value proposition, for that piece to completely go away. We talked about this in our last discussion. Nobody stopped having the utility bills still need to be paid and processed. I know in this challenging COVID environment, people have pulled back from that. They still need those utility invoices paid. What we're starting to see now is the true value in that, because they're trying to do more with less right now. So I think those are the benefits for us from a tenant billing and then bill payment processing side.
Yeah, so with kind of the pandemic in 2020, despite all the changes, what didn't change, as you mentioned, utility bills still came in and needed to be paid. But in a lot of cases, it was actually the staff and the personnel that are being asked to do more. And so it's not about replacing the work that they're doing. It's actually being able to take on utilities that's what we focus on 100%, to be able to reallocate those people to be able to focus on other parts of the commercial business, right?
That's a great analysis. So it's reallocation of resources. As we tout ourselves as utility experts, we were very cautious before we did that. What we did find out from our partners is that they do see us as utility experts, and themselves not as utility experts. Trying to manage, own, operate retail assets, and having the burden of utility bills being paid and processed, working directly with the utility companies and municipalities, and removing that burden and that headache and allowing us to take care of that. And the value in that process is, as we always like to say, we like the utility bill. There's a lot of money on it, and it's our clients' money. And so ability for us to manage that and then have the reporting around it as well.
So other than being able to help reallocate people, what other ways does Conservice help really maybe lower some of those costs or those expenses around utilities? I know there's challenges sometimes with late fees, right? If you're looking at multiple properties, there's some benchmarking that can also go on to be able to provide additional analysis. Maybe talk about some of those other ways that we can help people.
Yeah. So some of the significant value there is elimination of late fees, ensuring that the bills are always going to be paid and processed on time. Again, the integration piece is critical. Being able to have those charges directly loaded into our clients, mutual clients, GL file, and into their accounting software as well too, which is, again, MRI is our preferred partner. The manual entry, there's always 2 costs, Doug, that we talk about, a hard cost and a soft cost. We're responsible for one side of that equation. Our clients quite often know what the other side is. They know what it takes. I was in a discussion with a potential client last week, and they said they have 1.5 persons to manage their utilities. So assign a dollar amount to what it costs for 1.5 persons to manage their utilities, and that completely goes away. To be able to reallocate those individuals within an organization to somewhere else that might be probably better use of their time, and then allowing us to manage that process. A couple other pieces to that too are the procurement, allowing us to work on your behalf to go find better rates. as we always like to say, it's our clients' money. We like to go find it for them. We rarely run into anyone who has anyone in their staff that can manage that side of the equation as well too. So ability for us is, like I said, once we have those bills, there's so much work and so much data we can do. Another component is the reporting, Energy Star benchmarking reporting. We're starting to get a lot more requests for whole building data, and being able to look at all their assets and then be able to report back. Sustainability, I know it's a little bit of a catchword in our space, but what sustainability means to within different organizations, it is the whole building data, it is the reporting piece, and it's just having those metrics internally as well for for REITs and for publicly traded companies. So ability for us to take those data points and, again, as we get asked, sliced and diced in a lot of different ways.
So if somebody's already working with Conservice and has a question about kind of the MRI platform on that side, or work with MRI and maybe haven't interacted with Conservice, what's the best way for somebody to maybe look into a little bit more what the potential solution and potential savings and opportunities could be for them?
Yeah. Two ways. You could either go directly to MRI, to your salesperson or account management, and the same thing with Conservice. Just reach out directly to us. We work closely with them from a partnership standpoint, so ability, if you touch one of us, we'll be able to connect those dots and then come up with a customized solution that benefits our mutual client, mutual partner, and work through the solution process with them.
And are there client sizes or number of properties that are mid-size or larger that make more sense for our solution? Or you mentioned customization. How does that work based on maybe the number of properties that somebody's running? From
our side of the equation, we'll take anything from 1 to 1 million properties. It doesn't matter to us, and I know from our conversations with MRI as well too. So we welcome any new opportunities that come across. Yep.
Perfect. Cary, thank you for your time.
Yep.
Again, reach out to your MRI rep or reach out to Conservice, and either one of again, we're closely integrated with them, so either side we can connect you and be able to help you out in any way possible.